At least he gets a touch, gets a taste of it, but it's been a good start.
So what about that then, the decision to put them straight in? John Stones is on the bench, but Huzanov is part of the defence.
Yeah, I think we've looked at John a few times. He's come back. He's been rushed because of the emergency situation that City have been under, and it hasn't worked.
Oh, that's a short header by Huzanov. Jackson plays it across, and Madueke scores. Chelsea have the lead. And that's a mistake, a big mistake by the debutant, Huzanov. The short back pass. Jackson was all over it, stabbed it across, and Madueke was there with an open goal. He couldn't miss. It's Manchester City 0, Chelsea 1. New arrivals, same old story.
Wow, you cannot believe what has just happened. It looked like it was in control. The first header came down, he sort of didn't get any contact, then it bounced, it went in favour. But as the ball's travelling back towards Ederson, maybe that, I think, well, I'll be calm, I'll be composed. He just tries to head it back, doesn't catch it one bit. Jackson squares it, then it's a simple one, isn't it? It's just empty net as Ederson just gets played out of the way. Oh my God, what a mistake as Madueke just puts it in the empty net.
That is a nightmare start for Abdu Kodia Huzanov, the 20-year-old Uzbek, signed this week, straight in for his debut, and his back header, his attempted header back to Ederson was way too short. It was a present for Jackson to pop it across to Madueke.
I've watched football for a long time, so have you, John. I cannot believe that is a start at this level for this youngster. And again,
and now Huzanov dives in. Oh, he caught Palmer. Palmer was breaking through. There were covering defenders. It's a yellow card now. He took the legs of Palmer. He's lucky there, Huzanov, that there were covering defenders. It is a yellow card, but John Brooks must have thought for a moment that it's yellow.
Do you know what? He comes in, nice little touch, brings it back, and he plays it inside. Palmer's quick on top of Kovacic, nicks it, gets forward, and then the tackle. Tries to make amends, comes across, and it's always going to be a yellow card. I've just seen Haaland go past him. He needs someone just to say, like Kovacic, Haaland, and Kanji, slow down, mate. You're having one of those. Pep, you see his reaction. Incredible.
It's almost like the season in miniature, isn't it, for Manchester City? Since things started to go wrong, what can go wrong very often will go wrong. They're already 1-0 down here. What a start we've had to this match. Free kick, tap short, and then the curling effort for Reece James for Chelsea after it was just tapped to him, curled over the angle of post and bar for a goal kick.
Yeah, they go short, try to play it quickly. Reece James trying to fizz it across, 25 yards out, always rising. Here he is again now, next pass, again, loses it.
They've played the ball to him on the edge of the box, he's passed it straight out to Cucurella. Chelsea have got it back. Reece James now out to the goal scorer, Madueke, who plays it back to the halfway line. And Chelsea now, Colwell, he's returned to the team. Enzo Fernandez as well. Both were doubts for this match, but have been past fit. And Chelsea are going to play the ball all the way back to goalkeeper Sanchez. So, well, Huzanov is the story so far.
How's he feeling, John? Do you know, look now, he's going tight. He can't make a challenge, he gets turned.
Yeah, Jackson's away from him. He went all the way to the halfway line now. Sancho's taking him on. Jadon Sancho plays it into Huzanov, bounces back to Jadon Sancho here at one of his former clubs, and then back towards Cucurella, who's behind him. Tentative, very tentative from Huzanov.
Does he keep him on the pitch? Do you know, I've never seen a start like this. He's got to really, really take his time now, be cool, to do nothing stupid whatsoever. I'm a player, I'm thinking I'm going to leave him, I'm not going to give him the ball when I don't have to, and there he gets it.
Akanji tried to run it away there where Huzanov was an option, but then he was closed down, he had to go back to Huzanov. This is a really torrid, a really tough opening first 5 minutes of his Manchester City career. And right now, Pep Guardiola standing with his arms crossed, and Chelsea winning the ball back. I think the whole team are rattled because of what's happened to their new teammate.
Look at Bernardo's position as well. You know, intelligent. He's just gone right a little bit close to him, just in case anything happens. A little bit of cover.
Here's one for Kovacic. This is for Marmoush to chase, but Sanchez is right out to the edge of the penalty area to gather that into his stomach.
Yeah, good direct ball. He looks quick, doesn't he? Marmoush wants to run, wants to get in behind, but what a start for Chelsea. You're coming here wondering what type of performance you can get. And now they're just rolling it around, but this now sets it up nicely for hopefully a cracker.
Well, so the goal scored, I think it was the second minute that Madueke scored, that really it rocked Manchester City. The third minute it was, that's the official timing, as Cucurella now plays a long left-footed ball that floats out of play. So the team in full, Michael. Ederson in goal, so Ederson again keeps his place. That is an issue as well at the moment, after he returned to the team against Ipswich last Sunday afternoon. And at the back, we've got Husanov playing on the right side, really of a three, isn't it, with Akanji and Gvardiol, with Mateus Nunes pushing well up the right-hand side here. Bernardo Silva and Kovacic and Gundogan, and then Foden and Marmoush, and then Erling Haaland through the middle. So describe the Marmoush position that he started in, because he is quite adaptable, isn't he?
Well, as you said then, he's coming inside. It's almost like 2 10s, isn't it? With Foden from the right-hand side when in possession, Marmoush the other. What he has done, he's come direct. He's come inside wherever he can to go in behind Foden more, staying in those positions. But out of possession, Nunes drops down and it is like a 4. But in possession, Bernardo now the one centrally, Kovacic, Gundogan. Gvardiol's also high and wide, so it gives them different options, different rotations, and it's a fascinating setup. There's a lot to think about when you start bringing new players into this type of style to get your distances correct.
Yeah, Ruben Diaz injured again, so back on the sidelines, and John Stones on the substitutes bench. I have to confess, I thought Stones might start this one, but it depends what's happening with that foot injury of his, doesn't it? So he's on the bench, and as a result, Husanov is starting the match, and Chelsea playing it through. This is for Palmer to chase. Palmer 1-on-1. He squares into Jackson. Jackson had to take a touch, then back for Sancho. The shot from Sancho is saved by Ederson. Should have been 2-0. Cole Palmer, I'm not sure why he didn't go for that himself against his former club. And so, having been possibly 2-0 down, Manchester City now attack with Bernardo Silva with a pass centre field to Gundogan. Gundogan approaching the penalty area. Gvardiol now. Gvardiol into the area. Low ball across, and it's gathered by Sanchez. The ball still rattling around though inside the area, and then Chelsea will break now. Sancho receives it from Caicedo. Caicedo's onto this. In fact, Jackson is onto this. Jackson bursting forward, but then giving the ball away to Gundogan, and suddenly now Manchester City are on the attack. It's like the last 5 minutes. Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side receives it from Gundogan. Gundogan approaching Cucurella. Square from him. Foden trying to get it onto his left foot. In fact, dinks it over the top for Haaland. Haaland volleys it back across, right over the penalty area to the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva has got it down. Bernardo Silva against Cucurella. He stabs it back. Foden on the edge of the box. Shoot the shout. He does, and he hits the post. The outside of the post, and it bounces away and is tackled out for a throw. What a spell that was.
It's incredible end to end. But how did Chelsea not score initially? Palmer, so unsalvaged. I just think take it on, go across the defender and take him out. He doesn't, and then just see Foden coming in those central positions. First time it went out to Haaland, kept it alive. Bernardo Foden, wonderful shot off that near post. It's just been end to end. Brilliant entertainment.
What about Palmer though? Sent through the middle. Why didn't he shoot?
He was too cool. He was too cool. No, he's seen it. He just seen it, didn't he? He knows it. The pass was there. He just thought, I'll just knock it. But it was actually just too big. The weight of the pass, what it would have been. Everybody's saying how fantastic it would have been.
Manchester City 0, Chelsea 1 is the score. What an unexpected start to this match. And then Foden's attempted crossfield pass has got too much on it, and that will just curl away and behind for a goal kick. And we can take a breath. Michael,
do we have to?
Busy day for you with the birthday and all the presents and the cakes, and now this.
It's good, isn't it? That's what we're here for. Yes. I was doing a bit at 12 o'clock, John, when you
were. I heard you. I heard you. Goal kick for Chelsea. City supporters are saying, come on, John Brooks, make them get on with it. And eventually the clearance downfield hits Mateus Nunes. That pass is a little short back from Husanov as well, but Ederson was able to clear, and then Husanov is able to return it to his goalkeeper. The other signing so far, the other arrival so far for Manchester City, the teenage very highly rated Brazilian defender Vitor Reis is among the substitutes as well today, so that's an option for possibly another Manchester City debut. And of course your mate Kyle Walker is now building his career in Milan, Michael.
He is, yeah. I just thought you might mention that at some point when there's been a little bit of time in the game. We haven't really been able to discuss anything. It's been so good.
So Mateus Nunes now effectively as the right back, or really more of a right wing back, as the ball is played back by Enzo Fernandez to Sanchez on the edge of his own penalty area. And the Chelsea team, Sanchez in goal, James, Chalobah, Colwill and Cucurella, Caicedo and Fernandez, Madueke, Palmer, Sancho and Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson, who has not scored in his last 6 appearances, and the pass that he received from Palmer, when Palmer was through, he just had to take a touch, didn't he? He was too wide, really.
I just thought, you know, when Cole Palmer went through on goal, I don't know why he didn't take it onto his left foot, take Kushinov out, and then so much more open. City now moving it. Interesting, we looked at the stats earlier today about City's longer passing. They weren't there, but there's a long one now.
There's one from Kovacic, way over to the left-hand side. Gvardiol with the cross, but back in the penalty area, Caicedo is able to hit it out on the twist, and it bounces out of play for a throw into Gundogan. So after Paris on Wednesday night, I hope you joined us for that. I hope you were able to listen, because the atmosphere that night was something else. The show that they put on in the Parc des Princes was remarkable, really, both on the field and off the field as well.
I believe so.
Luis Enrique's team were terrific, I felt, and Manchester City couldn't live with them. And now he's up against Pep Guardiola, another former colleague, and Enzo Maresca, who was here as his assistant, part of the treble-winning season, and he was greeted very warmly, wasn't it, by Guardiola before the start of the match. A really big hug from the two of them, and then before you know it, Enzo Maresca's team are winning 1-0. Chelsea, who've not beaten Manchester City since the Champions League final in the Dragao. Here's Marmouche picking up the ball on the halfway line, giving it to Gvardiol, then back to Gundogan. He's one of the men who've come into the starting lineup today. So after the events of Wednesday night, Pep Guardiola making just the 3 changes. De Bruyne's on the bench, there's no Diaz, and Savinho also among the substitutes as well. Pep Guardiola waving his arms around. He wants Akanji does hit a long pass to the edge of the area. Cucurella's able to head it down. They shout for handball against Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez with one pass down the left-hand side for Sancho. Kuzanov comes across. Sancho is onto the ball, into possession. He's running at Kuzanov. Sancho pulls it across, and it's just cleared away by the left boot of Akanji, who is able to adjust and stop it from reaching Nicholas Jackson. Tough again for Kuzanov.
Yeah, it was difficult there, but there was so much space. One through the centre. I think that's the danger, isn't it? As soon as Chelsea take the passes, you see Pep think, why are we going to do that type of ball when we're going to get counted quickly? Sancho 1v1, he was committed, drove the line, good position, went centrally from Akanji.
Well, it's been a really dramatic afternoon. I hope you've been able to listen during the course of 5 Live Sport this afternoon. All of the details you'll find on the football pages of the BBC Sport website and app, but Liverpool winning handsomely against Ipswich by 4-1 at Anfield. Controversial at Molineux in our 3 o'clock commentary match, where Miles Lewis Skelly was sent off, and the strong feeling is that should have gone to VAR. VAR should have called Michael Oliver to have another look at that, but he didn't. Arsenal with 10 men, though, won it by 1-0. You've seen it, Michael.
Yeah, but when Michael Oliver's in VAR, he has the opinion that I'll change the outcome and say, come and have a look at certain decisions. Why was it not done to him? He needed to go and look at that. But I'm sure on this occasion, him being our lead referee, Michael Oliver will come out himself and say, I got that one wrong. I'd hope so. I'd hope he'd do that.
So Arsenal, second place in the table. And then Nottingham Forest in third still, despite their 5-0 defeat of Bournemouth. That one of the scorelines of the afternoon. Newcastle in fourth after winning 3-1 at bottom of the table, Southampton. And Brighton 0, Everton 1. We've already heard from David Moyes, who was on live round about 5:25. Go back and listen again on BBC Sounds if you missed it. If you're an Everton fan, David Moyes having a chat with Mark Chapman. We enjoyed it, didn't we?
I did enjoy it. You could just see the smile, couldn't you?
You could.
You know, he's not always like that, a bit fiery. David Moyes, but yeah, great result for him.
Yes, so the drama continued right into the start of this match, where it is Manchester City 0, Chelsea 1, and the champions are behind again. That third-minute goal from Noni Madueke after the error from the new signing, the debutant Abdou Kudia Huzanov, who's also been yellow-carded. Here's Kovacic in the centre circle against his former club. Scored against them, if you remember, right at the start of the season. The first match, the first Sunday, Manchester City starting their attempt to win 5 titles in a row, won well, 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, and actually Chelsea, if you remember, in Maresca's first game, actually played well that day, but lost 2-0. Offside flag up against Manchester City, free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, they did do well, because I felt like that was a game they could have went on and won, but they're comfortable here, they're confident, and rightly so, but it's going to be an open game. Wondering at the start, weren't we, what type of setup, what will the managers do, will anyone overthink it? But what a start to the game. It's just settled slightly, but again, just Chelsea just keep coming. Bernardo, he won't give up, he'll keep pressing.
And Chelsea have got it with Sanchez, the goalkeeper, passing it out to James, and then that's a nice little change of feet from Caicedo to take it away from Marmouche. Now Sancho on the left. Sancho on loan from Manchester United, remember. Cucurella with a cross, that's deflected, and Kuzanov was able to adjust in time to clear it out. And there's that's a sympathetic applause for Kuzanov for actually making sure that ball didn't get any further into the penalty area.
I mean, let's be careful. It's a young boy. He's only been training a couple of days. He's straight into a massive game like this. Mistakes happen. Can he recover quickly? I was really concerned when he got that yellow card, and now he's just got to be composed, and manager will have had a little word and say, don't worry about it. Senior players also, but anytime he comes near anyone, he's so cautious. He doesn't want to make any challenge, and he has got that in him. He will be aggressive.
Here's Haaland through the middle, but Haaland's attempted pass to Foden gives possession back to Chelsea. It's Erling Haaland's first appearance here since he signed the new mega contract. Chelsea have got the ball in their own 6-yard area, drives it out. Haaland did score in that first game of the season, Manchester City's first Premier League goal of this season, when they won 2-0 at Chelsea. Some news from the other side of Manchester, Michael. As expected, Manchester United have confirmed that Anthony is going to spend the rest of this season in Spain with Real Betis on loan, subject to international clearance, playing for Manuel Pellegrini, the former Manchester City manager. So probably best course of action for Anthony to try and get going somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone from bad to worse, didn't it, for Anthony? But Manchester United a couple more as well, just to deal with before the end of the window. I think the manager certainly needs help. And this is the type of sort of part of the season now where he can define it, can change so much, and I think at times when a couple come in the door, it just gives you a big lift.
The atmosphere in the stadium here, the Etihad Stadium, after what's been a cold, sunny afternoon on this side of Manchester, is a little subdued. It's the Chelsea supporters, I think you can hear over there on the far side, with their team leading by 1-0. That result, that reverse in Paris in midweek, means it's a big night here on Wednesday against Club Brugge, the Belgian champions, when City must win in order to reach the knockout stages of the Champions League.
Are you going to be present? Are we going to see you?
Are you going to be present?
Oh, yeah, of course I am. I'm just not working with you, unfortunately. It's somebody else, but
I will see you there then.
Yeah.
And Chelsea, meanwhile, didn't have to worry about that. Already finished their Conference League group commitments, already finished top of that table, so they've had all week to prepare for this match, or at least since Monday night when they won at Wolves. Here is Kovacic through to Foden, nice adjustment from him, then rolls it into the path of Gvardiol, who's into the box, pulls it across. Oh, Marmouche couldn't get a touch, sliding in, or if he did get a touch, he couldn't divert it goalwards, and in actual fact the offside flag's up again.
That was a great move. Foden at his best in that central area. He flips quickly, and then he's away. His awareness in tight areas exceptional. And Mouche's run's very good. Reach Jim centrally. Has all the space. Gvardiol fizzes it right past the penalty spot, but just the outrest for Mouche. But he was offside, and it's a good counter, but he's got to stay on. That's twice now running in behind's key, but timing has got to be better.
Yeah, running from the deeper position. That's where he started here. The man who scored 20 goals for Eintracht Frankfurt so far this season in 26 appearances, so that's a career personal best for Marmoush. 15 goals in the Bundesliga as Marmoush is bundled over on the edge of the box. That was too physical from Reece James, the Chelsea captain, who protests to referee Brooks, but it's a free kick a couple of yards outside the box, over towards the left.
Yeah, great position. He's getting involved, and there was contact. The back of his leg, he jumped straight up to try and carry on. But who's going to take it? What type of free kick? It's a good position. If you're almost going to spot it, that would be one, wouldn't it, for a right footer, open the far corner and one over the wall.
Yep, Kevin De Bruyne though, sitting on the substitutes bench. So Gundogan is having a look at this. He's had some great free kicks, hasn't he, in his time as well. Gundogan, Foden is there, Kovacic also in discussions, and Marmoush himself. So looks like Marmoush fancies this, you know, to me.
It does to me. Why is he there? Just a look, Phil Foden will be thinking, really, you're coming in first game and having that confidence?
My rule is always who's the last one to actually place the ball. It was Marmoush. Marmoush hits it into the top of the Chelsea wall, bounces out though, and it's drilled goalwards by Husanov, but then deflected right across the penalty area and out for a throw. I think you, like me, were thinking, go on, he might be able to make up for his early errors.
He struck it well. He struck it well, didn't he? The first one into the wall wasn't great, but then eyes lit up, and he's the one for me, but block.
And then the ball is deflected out of play, and Mateus Nunes was able to win a corner for Manchester City off Cucurella. So the first corner of the match. We are already more than halfway through the first half. BBC Radio 5 Live. Live here at the Etihad Stadium. Foden takes this short. Foden then tries to get it back, rides the challenge, then runs into Sancho, and the ball ricochets all the way back towards the halfway line, and then is played to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva gets it down, he's running at Sancho, just slows his progress, then left foot across, flicked on by Haaland. Guardiola controls, Guardiola with his right foot, and shoots wildly across the face of goal. Did everything right until the shot. And Guardiola's hands were over his face, and now he pulls up the front of his shirt and puts it over his face. And that tells you, Michael?
No, it was a huge miss, wasn't it? Good ball in, Bernardo right across the back post, that flick from Haaland. Reece James sort of got his leg out, but wasn't comfortable. Guardiola looking to get that left foot shot. Comes inside, now is uncertainty how long this is taking. I can't believe he puts it over the bar.
Yellow card is pulled out by John Brooks for the delaying of the taking of...
Across the back post, that flick from Haaland. Reece James sort of got his leg out, but wasn't comfortable. Guardiola looking to get that left foot shot. Comes inside, now is uncertainty how long this is taking. I can't believe he puts it over the bar.
Yellow card is pulled out by John Brooks for the delaying of the taking of the goal kick by Colwell, and still he's not taking it, and now he does. He said he was waiting for the signal from the referee. Sanchez slips over as he clears it downfield, hence the cheers from the Manchester City supporters. 1-0 Chelsea lead. Cucurella just rolling it back to his goalkeeper. Sanchez puts his left foot through it, and it comes off the head of Mateus Nunes and out of play for a throw into Chelsea near the halfway line. Michael Brown.
It's interesting that he decides to give him that yellow card. Why doesn't he just say, come on, get on with it? You get a warning these days, sometimes you do, but when there's that much pressure from the supporters and the players, he decides to do it. But a little bit, I don't know, they look still not as comfortable as you would want under that press, Chelsea.
No, they don't. Sanchez, oh dear me, that was Dyson with danger, but he's been able to find the pass out to the right-hand side, and they bring it forward. up the right flank with Chalobah, who gives it to Madueke, the goal scorer. Madueke up against Gvardiol in the other penalty area. Madueke does well, gets a low ball into the near post. That's cleared, deflected away. And then Gundogan is being put under severe pressure. He finds Gvardiol. Excellent footwork from Gvardiol as the challengers came in on him and was able to play the ball into the back line.
What about when Madueke gets the ball? He looks to cross it, that last second flick. He'd have you spinning, wouldn't he? He'd have me spinning anyway, that's for certain. Josko Gvardiol, good recovery.
Yeah, he's a real talent, Madueke. Did well for England, one of the debutants under Lee Carsley in the autumn. I saw him score that hat-trick at Molineux when Cole Palmer set all of the goals up, didn't he, that day for Madueke? And already this season, Palmer has created 17 chances for Madueke in the Premier League this season. And that goal, the one that he scored here today, something of a present, that was his 8th of the season in all competitions, 7 of them in the Premier League. So Manchester City 0, Chelsea 1, 5 Live Sport, Saturday afternoon. Here's one for Foden to chase, but the offside flag is up, and Pep Guardiola down on the side of the pitch shrugs his shoulders.
Yeah, he's under a lot of scrutiny, isn't he? So many questions have gone his way, and what he says and what he does, how does he react, what does he do different in his side? But they've conceded far too many goals. He's talked this week about possession, not necessarily just work ethic. As we've seen, you've got to be tighter, got to be better. And this is the problem.
Colwill, long pass. Ederson's come a long way out of the penalty area, probably 10 yards and more. Headed it away. Headed back forward by Fernandes. Palmer now. Palmer calmly gives it to Madueke. Runs his foot over the ball. He's up against Gvardiol. Still Madueke, and then Marmouche comes in with a challenge. Palmer now cuts in field. Left foot shot deflected, but deflected straight at the goalkeeper, who was able to catch it. Ederson, right in front of his face.
Yeah, Madueke, good feet again, but then once Cole Palmer gets it, long way away, he shifts it quickly. You can't touch him. Kovacic goes to get tight, and that deflection, Ederson's thinking, where's it going to go? Luckily, again, another mistake. Too many from City.
City, oh, there's a pass across the edge of the 6-yard box that Jackson was after, but Ederson was able to clear. Mateus Nunes 50-50. Cucurella plays it through to Jackson. No flag yet. Jackson's shot is saved by Ederson, and there's the flag. I think Jackson knew. I think he knew that he was offside.
I think everyone in the stadium felt like it was going to be a flag that was coming our way, but I think it saved his blushes. He had a good chance there to put it in the back of the net. You've got to be more clinical just in case.
The TV cameras, I noticed, did you see on our screen a moment or two ago, picked out the director's box where the Manchester City chairman, Khaldoon Al-Mubarak, is sitting next to Gianni Infantino. The FIFA president is here, and of course these teams, Chelsea and Manchester City, will be involved, won't they, in his baby, the FIFA Club World Cup in the United States at the end of the season. The competition that I'm not sure how many people actually want. As Kovacic plays it through to the edge of the penalty area, and Chalobah back returning from his loan at Crystal Palace, puts it out of play on the halfway line. Busy week for Gianni Infantino. On Monday he was at the inauguration of the US president.
Was he?
He was at Donald Trump's inauguration on Monday, and now here he gets himself in some places.
You know what? I thought
he's a bit like someone else I could mention.
What, Deno?
Well,
do you know what? I've just seen that picture, and then I thought, well, if I'd have seen a particular picture, I thought you, Gary Flintoff, the producer, and you next to each other, if they do that, that's a powerhouse of BBC, isn't it?
I think there's more power in that director's box by the XG of about 25. Here's Kovacic.
Plus that.
Yes. Kovacic playing it across to Gundogan. Well, it's been entertaining so far, first half hour. The way the match started, remarkable really. An awful start for the debutant Kuzanov, and now Kovacic is bundled over by Caicedo. That's going to be a free kick. I think referee Brooks is just going to talk to Cam. To the back post where Foden, who's really stretching for that, got his head to it, but really it just sort of hit his head and ballooned away over the top of the crossbar. It is now Exeter 5, Saracens 8 in the Sports Extra commentary match, and also in the United Rugby Championship. Leinster 15, Stormers 7, and Cardiff 5, Sharks 21 are latest scores. Michael.
Yeah, they're really taking the time, aren't they, on the set pieces. It's one of those where you roll it to your goalkeeper first, but Bernardo's sat waiting to pounce wherever he can, and good play.
Jackson gets the ball down on the halfway line and then sets off on a little run, and having got away from Foden pushed him over, just a hand in the back. Jackson went sprawling. Cucurella's got something to say for himself. And do you remember in the match at Stamford Bridge, Michael? I'm sure you do, the way that Haaland was able to get the better of Cucurella. Cucurella having sung the song about Haaland after Spain won the Euros, which probably wasn't the wisest choice of action.
We do see a few things like that from players, and it's still happening, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the pitch. Never surprises you.
No, it doesn't. As Cucurella now goes in for a challenge and does well, comes out with it against Mateus Nunes. Couldn't find the pass to Sancho, and then Huzanov, who's on the yellow card, slid in for the challenge, but actually the offside flag was up, and Pep Guardiola comes out of his coaching area clapping his hands. Yeah, but you know what he does? It's one of them exaggerated ones to go to him and say how good you were there, brilliant, well done, just trying to give him a little lift. It was almost too much, wasn't it? Yeah, he's thick set, isn't he? Abdou Kodia Kuzanov, strong young man. He actually played only 31 times for Lens, you know, so he's very, very early stage of his career. Haaland laying it off to Marmoush, who passes it to Mateus Nunes, who gives it back to the edge of the area to Kovacic. That shot's blocked, back to Haaland, that's blocked, and then Bernardo Silva. No, it's Gundogan, shot saved, Marmoush is in to score on his debut, but no, he doesn't, because the offside flag is up again against Marmoush for the third time in the match, but this time he's denied a goal.
I've never seen a flag go up so slow. Do you know, you're looking along and going, is it not? This could be tight, because he didn't really want to put his flag up.
We're just seeing it again, and he was in an offside position.
Yeah, but it was really late. But as it comes across, again, he was quick, he was alert, goalkeeper. Sanchez very, very lucky. Ilkay Gundogan sweeps that sort of effort into the far post, but he spills it, doesn't he? Mamouche very quick.
Yeah, there's the confirmation, and referee Brooks says to Chelsea, right, take the free kick for offside. It remains Manchester City 0, Chelsea 1. This is 5 Live from the BBC. If you're on the move, you can listen to all of live BBC radio via BBC Sounds if you download the app, which is absolutely free. And now Pep Guardiola is
going crazy about a decision. Maybe Josko Vardiol just pushing fourth there back, isn't it? Pushed him in the chest, so to say, get back in there almost.
Yeah, and Cucurella just getting some encouragement from Maresca, and the ball is back with Robert Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper. Long pass from him. Guardiola heads it, but he heads it straight to Cole Palmer, who took a heavy touch, and that meant Guardiola was able to come in, win the ball. Excellent again from Guardiola, who danced in and won it ahead of Reece James, and City play the ball back to Huzanov again, and then Akanji carries it forward, but it's quickly closed down, so City go back into their own half and start again. Still 1-0 down here.
Yeah, if you look at Chelsea, there's very, very narrow. They wait, they go back, jump in the shape. As soon as a short pass, they jump out and press.
There's a pass from Akanji. This is from Marmoush, Manchester City's new number 7 to chase. James challenges him down in the full-back area. Final touch off the Manchester City man and out for a throw-in, which is given Chelsea's way. Thought he had a case for a free kick there, but referee Brooks isn't interested, and it's a throw-in to Chelsea in their own right-back area. Pep Guardiola down in front of us clasps his hands behind his back and paces from side to side as the ball is deflected out for another throw-in near the halfway line. So 1-0 it is after Abdou Kadir Kuzanov's nightmare opening minutes as a Manchester City player. You talked about terrible starts for clubs, and I was thinking back to, do you remember Nemanja Vidic and Patrice Evra when they made their debut for Manchester United? I'm trying to think, what was the match there? Were they beaten by Liverpool? Beaten quite heavily by Liverpool? Just trying to remember that one. And of course Jonathan Woodgate, do you remember Jonathan Woodgate's debut for Real Madrid when he scored an own goal and was sent off? As Gundogan now gets his head down. Just plays the ball to Gvardiol over on the left-hand side. Kovacic, right-footed, cross-field, the ball bounces up and is chested down by Matheus Nunes. Cucurella in front of him, hair flying all over the place as they go back to Husanov. Little pass to Kovacic in the centre circle. Now Bernardo Silva. Got less than 10 minutes to go to half-time. We'll have more reaction, as I say. You've already missed David Moyes, although I suppose we might hear more from him later. Lines will be open as well at half-time for Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 6:06. So we'll let you know when the lines are open. And here's Gundogan now carrying the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, flicked from Foden. And then Gundogan again, back to Akanji. Manchester City trailing at home again. Remember, they went 52 home matches in all competitions unbeaten before that collapse, that extraordinary game against Tottenham. As City attack again with Foden, but Chalobah's going to try and see it over the white line and behind. And the Chelsea fans who are just over the hoardings there give him a huge ovation for being able to do just that. It's a goal kick for Chelsea. But since that defeat, of course, they have since lost the Manchester derby here as well. And now it's a goal kick that Chelsea again are testing the referee's patience, and it's Caldwell who's already been yellow carded, and then Sanchez, when he cleared it, Cucurella couldn't keep it in.
What does he do now, though? What does the referee do now when the same thing's happening? He's booked the player.
Short a second,
Well,
I think that is allowed.
He is allowed. But what do you think would happen there?
There won't be one. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be, should they?
That would be quite a call, wouldn't it?
I think you go over, don't you, and say that's it. You literally walk across and say, that is going to be it now.
If you do it again,
yeah, I will have to do it.
Sent off.
Yeah, rather than just to do it.
Yeah. 1-0 Chelsea lead, and Matheus Nunes infield towards Phil Foden. Phil Foden, who's shown signs certainly in recent matches of coming back to something more like his true form, having scored in the last 3 Premier League matches, scored 2 in each of the last 2. Kovacic forward to the edge of the box, nicely chested down by Gvardiol. Oh, who shoots wide? Defenders either side of him. It was a bubbly kind of shot as he burst through, and it just bounced wide of the foot of the post.
He's so good in those positions, you know. He is quite calm. He gets into the positions off that far side, it drifts across. It's a good finish, you know. It's difficult to try and do that. Takes it with his thigh, then the outside of that left foot. Very, very unlucky as it just edges past that far post. But what a run, what a take.
And now we're seeing the goal kick for Chelsea again, which they do improve. They do take that one more quickly than the previous 2 or 3. So I think maybe the point has been made. Less than 5 minutes of the first half to go. Entertaining stuff again from Manchester City, but facing here the prospect, and there's a long way to go, but facing the prospect of a 3rd home defeat in the Premier League this season, despite the reinforcements arriving. Bernardo Silva and Kovacic in possession, in between 2 of the central defenders actually, Akanji and Kusanov, and then Cole Palmer might have scored a second for Chelsea himself, but unselfishly, perhaps wrongly, tried to give it to Jackson. Matheus Nunes, then back to Husanov again, and then Gundogan, still sitting with it deep inside their own half. Kevin De Bruyne on the substitutes bench. I have to say I'm not entirely unsurprised by that. I thought he was excellent at Portman Road. Ball played over the top for Matheus Nunes to chase. Cucurella's in there. Matheus Nunes. Guardiola is onto it. And Manchester City Chelsea's defenders will look at one another here. That was not well defended by Enzo Maresca's side. Just the ball over the top for Matheus Nunes and Cucurella chasing. I think he got a foot to it himself. Sanchez made the save, but the ball bounced to Guardiola, and Guardiola, who's already had 2 good chances in the match, wasn't going to miss this one. It was an open goal, and it's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 1, and the champions are level before half-time.
Madueke stays inside, and that allows that high line. No flexibility. Cucurella tries to recover, and it almost is like a clash in between him and Sanchez. Guardiola carries on with that run. A simple tap-in for him, but you could see something that they've worked on. We've just seen 2 minutes before, Josko Vardy. With half-time. Madueke stays inside, and that allows that high line. As Guardiola carries on with that run. A simple tap-in for him, but you could see something that they've worked on. We've just seen 2 minutes before, Josko Vardy with that diagonal one. Comes inside, chests it, puts it wide. Nunes on the opposite. Good arc run, similar again with his chest. But it was that challenge off Cucurella, gets in the way, and then finally City, the work on the training ground comes through and they get the rewards.
So 1-1 it is just before half-time, and big relief for Manchester City and everyone here in Sky Blue at the Etihad Stadium. And I don't know what's happened to the match ball. The City fans have found their voice. It was very quiet for a long time during the first half, but Pep Guardiola just turns to the ball boy to our left down here and says, "Come on, let's have the ball." And eventually, it's rolled back onto the pitch, and referee Brooks says to Cole Palmer, "Right, restart the match," which he does. And there are now 2 minutes of the first 45 to play. We'll have more reaction to come at half-time to the earlier matches, many of them dramatic, as Manchester City have a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. And Pep Guardiola is now involved in a discussion with the 4th official, Lewis Smith, and it's not entirely clear what that's about either.
The discussion was a mild choice of words.
Well, it was one way traffic.
Yeah. He said, "I really need this to happen next." But the game's open now. It's the long direct one. We haven't really seen Haaland get away.
Haaland winning the ball in the air against Colwill, but back from Chalobah to goalkeeper Sanchez, who's able to clear it away. It's a slightly strange one, isn't it? Chalobah being allowed to go to Crystal Palace and then playing well for them in the first half of the season, and then coming back to Chelsea, straight in the team, started both matches. Here's Foden being challenged by Enzo Fernandez. Of course, Fofana is out probably for the rest of the season, but they're not short on central defenders, are they?
Well, Rabiot's on the bench, aren't they?
I mean, Maria Shield as well.
Linked with more wide players.
Yeah. As Fernandez through the middle for Palmer. Palmer trying to take on Kuzanov, but there was cover there from Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva again just inside his own box, left-footed and along the way towards the halfway line, where Chalobah might well lose out to Marmouche, but the referee's blown his whistle, said that there was some sort of infringement by Marmouche, and it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, I just think it's gone out of play, hasn't he, down that far side? But you're just looking again there, Bernardo Silva, as soon as Cole Palmer gets it, he gets in and around him. He knows he can produce little things, that little flick inside, but here he is now, so talented, and then he goes and does that and puts the ball out.
2 minutes of added time at the end of this eventful first half. Remarkable start to the match, with Pep Guardiola bringing in Marmouche and then Kuzanov for their debut, starting the match, and Kuzanov giving away the opening goal in the 3rd minute, then being booked, looking really shaky. Yes, I think anyone would after a start like that, but he has settled into the game, and here now in possession, just passing the ball away much more confidently. It's how to play for a throw to Chelsea.
Yeah, he's done all right. He tried to play there as expected. I mean, if you can't play, you'd be surprised if City did sign you. So he's obviously comfortable on the ball. We obviously haven't seen that in that first minute. That headed clearance he attempts from the goal, and then a yellow card from a poor pass.
Sanchez ball over the top for Jackson to chase, but Mateus Nunes is able to get there first, although the ball's still in play down by the corner flag, and Jackson just gets a toe into it. It's out play for a throw-in to Manchester City near their own corner flag.
It's amazing, isn't it? When Nunes came in, I felt like, oh, he's one of those that can glide with the ball, he can run through the middle, he can do something different. He didn't feature, then he did really well on that left-hand side for a period of time, and then he was out again. Now to come in this role, right wing back, right back out of possession is amazing now that he's getting a run. In the middle of the week at PSG was the one I wasn't sure he would play. Enrico Lewis started all the games early on.
I thought he was impressive at Portman Road last Sunday afternoon, but less so against Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, well, we're both there. It's a different test, isn't it? It was so comfortable for them.
No, I have to say I was suckered in by the performance against Ipswich, and I thought they did play really well.
Well, then to go 2 up as well in the middle of the week, you go, here we go, they're back. That's it.
But then a little fortunate to go 2-0 up. Nevertheless, they did. Manchester City at their best. That's it, isn't it? Here's Enzo Fernandez playing the ball to the right-hand side. Here's Madueke. Madueke into the box on his left foot. Shoots. I think that was deflected. It was on the way over the top, but nevertheless, the half-time whistle goes. There will not be a corner. And 1-1 it is at the break. And I think probably, all in all, Pep Guardiola and Manchester City will take that. After the start they made to the game, 1-0 down to Madueke's goal. That was a present really from the new signing, Kuzanov. But Josko Gvardiol scoring late in the half from a direct move, really, a ball over the top.
Yeah, I think he would take that. Disastrous start from the young man coming in on his debut. And then with a yellow card afterwards, Palmer getting in a second opportunity. Was wondering if it was going to be one of those days, but City showed resilience to start to break Chelsea down, move them around in that high line. They know that the pressure's there. Firstly, Guardiola broke it, went wide, and then Nunes, and then they finally got that equalizer. They both created lots of opportunities. I think it's been a really good first half of football.
Yeah, the champions are in another contest, another real test. And at half-time here at the Etihad, the score, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 1.
So many stories and talking points from the day's Premier League football back at the Etihad for the second half. Earlier, Bournemouth 5, Nottingham Forest 0, Brighton 0, Everton 1, Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1, Southampton 1, Newcastle 3, Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. Both sides reduced to 10 in that game. Arsenal in the first half, and it is a red card that you will want to see on tonight's match of the day, 10:30 on BBC One. Reaction to those games to come during half-time. First of all, 19 minutes past 6. Here's the latest BBC News with Stuart Clarkson.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Mark, thank you. Israel has released 200 Palestinian prisoners from jail in the second exchange of the Gaza ceasefire deal this morning. 4 female Israeli soldiers were freed after being taken hostage by Hamas in October 2023. West Midlands police say a 14-year-old boy has been charged with murdering a 12-year-old in the Hall Green area of Birmingham. Leo Ross was stabbed in a park on Tuesday. The 14-year-old, who can't be named, has also been charged with a number of assaults. He's due in court on Monday. Restrictions on keeping birds have been extended to cover all of England and Scotland because of an increase in the number of avian flu cases. Even stricter measures requiring birds to be housed will also be extended to cover North Yorkshire and Shropshire. And the Met Office says Storm Eowyn was probably the strongest to hit the UK in at least 10 years. Tens of thousands of homes are still without power after wind gusts exceeded 100 miles an hour. Transport has also been disrupted in some areas again today.
The Gladiator will be unleashed.
Bigger.
Brand new Gladiators.
Better.
No, those Gladiators look ready.
And tougher than ever.
She hits hard. This game isn't easy. Let's go! Bring on the next contender.
She was always going down.
The Gladiators will do anything to win.
Nice, terrifying.
Gladiators!
Gladiators Series 2. Back tougher. Watch on BBC iPlayer. This is 5 Live Sport.
With Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Manchester City 1, Chelsea 1 after an entertaining first half at the Etihad. Second half on the way here on 5 Live before 6:06 with Chris and Robbie. Let's bring you some reaction to the day's Premier League action. Starting at Molineux, Miles Lewis-Skelly sent off in the first half for Arsenal for a trip that was deemed foul play, but despite being reduced to 10, Arsenal beat them 1-0. Their goal came actually after Wolves had a man sent off. It was scored by Ricardo Calafiore. Here he is.
Ricardo, that's the kind of result, if you want to be in the title race, you have to grind out.
Yeah, you say it right, and for sure we're so happy for this huge and important win, and tough as well, because we were one man down, but at the end we fought a lot and we deserved the win.
Obviously, you don't want to go down to 10 men, but the response after you did, I thought, was exceptional. What was the message? What was the tactics?
Yeah, as you said, you don't have so much time to think about it was red card, was not, but at the end is how we react, and we reacted so good. And of course, what we said in the halftime was not to put ourselves in a defensive mood, but more to try to attack and score and win the game, and we did.
So you weren't looking at it like we need to try and keep goals out. You were like, we're going to attack and still play to win.
Yeah, like if we were still with 11 men on the pitch.
And you've scored 2 goals now for Arsenal, 1 at Man City and then 1 here today. So you pop up with some important ones.
Yeah, I like to score important ones, but I have still a lot to improve. I want to stay available till the end of the season. I help with the team.
There's been a lot of talk about Arsenal needing to bring in some forwards, but with that kind of finish, maybe they don't need to.
Maybe, I don't know. For sure, they know what they do, what they have to do, but I'm trying to help the team, as I said before.
Just talk me through that finish, though, because it was some strike.
No, to be honest, if you see, I didn't score a lot of goals, but if you see my previous one, I always score like without controlling the ball, and normally they're pretty difficult, so I don't know, I have to improve the more easier one, you know?
Can I just say as well, was there a sense of being spurred on by that red card that you didn't think it was fair, and sometimes you can use that and latch onto it and use it as spirit?
Yeah, I think, as you said, we use it to put ourselves in, not in trouble, but to give us more energy, more purpose, and then we did, and we scored.
João Gomes, the player sent off for Wolves. Here's his boss, Vitor Pereira.
Well, to be honest, I'm very happy again with my team because we play again in our way. We try to play our game. We create chance. We defended very well the set plays. We were compact almost the time, almost the game. And in the end, you know, for what the frustration is the result. And the yellow card to João Gomes. But you know, João Gomes is a fantastic player, a team player. He said to me, I'm balanced, but it's football. And 1 second, I got the yellow card, and I think was the moment of the game, because before that we had two clear situations to score.
Can you accept that from him as just purely a mistake, or frankly, with how important he is to the team and how the game turned, does he need to be better?
Oh, well, every time we learn lessons with life. In football is the same. Of course, he wants to help the team every time. His football in the moment is difficult to control. I asked him, even during the second half, I asked him to keep calm, don't take risks, but in the end, it was football.
We heard from Bournemouth captain Lewis Cook during Sports Report after their 5-0 win over Nottingham Forest. The thoughts of the beaten side now. Here's Nuno Espirito Santo with Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Was there tiredness in the performance today? Do you think, I've heard other managers talking about this recently. Do you feel the players were tired today? Could that be a reason at all?
I cannot answer that. What I can assure to you is that everybody was ready to go in the beginning of the game. As the game goes by, maybe I have legs, I don't know, I have to look better at the game, but that's no excuse.
And when you've had a season as good as this one, a defeat like this, I imagine, won't rock the confidence too much, because these things can happen.
No, it shakes the confidence, shakes everything, changes the mood, changes the atmosphere. So that's why I tell you, we have to regroup again, analyze, and challenge ourselves to be better at the City ground against Brighton.
Okay, and are you still able to enjoy your birthday tonight and celebrate?
Well, football is part of our lives. Not going to be the happiest day, of course, because a result like that is always, but it's still my birthday.
Alistair Bruce-Ball talking to Nuno Espirito Santo. There were 2 for Cody Gakpo as Liverpool beat Ipswich 4-1. Here he is with Sarah Mulkerrand.
Well, Cody, was that as fun as it looked?
Yeah, I think we played a good game, very controlled, scored good goals, and unfortunately conceded one. But overall, I think it's a good performance.
And you were able to score 2 as well. Talk us through them.
Yeah, I think the first one, very good attack from the right side. Good effort from Dom, and I think the keeper saved it pretty good. And then it just fell from my feet, and yeah, very happy with that kind of goals. And the second one, I think, fantastic ball from Trent, and yeah, good header, and so yeah, that was the second one.
And you're in some good goal-scoring form here at Anfield in recent matches. What do you put that down to?
Just love scoring here at home. No, I think, yeah, especially at home, we try to put a lot of pressure away as well. And lucky for me that I come in those positions and get the goals. So yeah, very happy. Hopefully it can continue for a long time.
There were 2 for Cody Gakpo there, 2 for Alexander Isak this afternoon as well, as Newcastle came from behind to beat Southampton 3-1. Everton have opened up a 7-point gap on the bottom 4 as they won 1-0 at Brighton. We heard from David Moyes on Sports Report as well. Plenty to talk about with Chris and Robbie.
Yep, well, want to hear from Ali Bruce Ball first and foremost, Mark, after that ridiculous question to Nuno. Is he going to enjoy his birthday after his team got beaten 5-0? I very much doubt it, Ali. I can answer that for you. But want to hear from Arsenal fans. Huge win for Arsenal today. A lot of controversy. I heard 5 Live all afternoon, Mark, and a lot of controversy over the sending off. And just looking at social media, I think Arsenal fans, they feel they get a harder time than most from referees, or have had a harder time than most, so Arsenal fans want to hear from them. Vitor Pereira talking about the Wolves, what he described he was happy with Wolves. Are Wolves fans happy with where they're sitting at this moment in time? I know he's just in the door, but I wouldn't be happy after being defeated if I was them. Bournemouth fans, I mean, they play Liverpool next week, don't they? I mean, Liverpool
3 o'clock next Saturday afternoon, 5-5.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. No, another brilliant result for Bournemouth. Big win for Newcastle. And I want to hear from Derby County fans. I think they're getting a little bit frustrated with their manager, Paul Warne. Canaries down the Swans, Mark 5. Josh Sargent back. Norwich City fans, let's hear from you. And Tony Mowbray, I think his first home game for West Brom. And they won 5, came out 5-1 winners today. So I want to hear from West Brom fans. Can you get promotion? Can you certainly get in those playoff positions?
And we can hear from Tony Mowbray now.
I felt it for maybe a month before I had my scan that told me that the diagnosis, everything was clear. I could feel my body was strong again. I'd been starting to go to the gym and I could do weights and abdominal exercise and had no discomfort. Your body tells you, and I felt good. I can feel it just talking. Whereas if I go back however many months, 3 months, 6 months, it was really hard to talk because my body was empty of fluid. I was totally dehydrated. My throat had swollen up. I was very, I couldn't talk really. It's amazing to be here today doing what I love to do really. And when you have days like today, you've got to cherish them, to be honest, and because there's enough hard days in football when you don't get what you deserve and you still have to answer the questions and yet you know you should have got more, and yet bottom line, there's the results you didn't get. That's what happens in football. So we'll enjoy today. Hopefully I'll enjoy my drive back home. I'll listen to Man City and Chelsea. Yeah, and I'll be home with my family in the next 2 or 3 hours.
And you'll hear this interview at half-time?
Yes, thank you very much. Well, I look forward to that.
Did you really lose 4.5 stone?
Yes, I did. Wow. 4.5 stone.
Off your earlobes?
Well, I probably needed to lose a stone or two. My wife would tell you, but eating too much chocolate and too many revels probably. I remember catching an image of me walking down the corridors in the hospital as the nurses, the physios trying to get you on your feet and keep you moving. I remember catching the image of me and thinking I didn't recognise myself. I was like so gaunt and almost grey.
Tony Mowbray with Pat Murphy, and it is lovely to have him back in football. Busy day of racing at Cheltenham this afternoon, including Constitution Hill winning the Unibet hurdle. John Hunt was watching.
Well, all the races at Cheltenham today were important, but it was great to see Constitution Hill surely grab the headlines. Not because he beat 4 inferior rivals pointless this afternoon, he won by 3 lengths, but it was the ease with which he did it. A dramatic last flight blunder as well set pulses racing here, but he's such a great horse, and Nicky Henderson was both relieved and emotional afterwards, to be honest with you. He was asked afterwards why he chose to come here and run after his excellent win at Christmas. Ordinarily, he would have gone straight to the Cheltenham Festival.
He just came out of Kempton so much better and quicker than we ever thought he would. My first reaction after Kempton was that, we don't need to go through that all again until March. But a week later, it was perfectly obvious that he was just full of it. No, he's just been brilliant all the way through. Never, it's just nearly been too straightforward, to be honest with you. But we're here now, and we've got 4 or 5 weeks to play with, and apparently I've got to keep working him.
That was the roundup from Cheltenham. Just in the cricket today, both England's men and women involved in T20 action. Both of them lost. England by the men by 2 wickets to India, so they are 2-0 up in the T20 series there. And the women by 72 runs after being bowled out for just 90 in the 3rd T20. In Adelaide, and in the women's Ashes there is now just the day-night test.
And Chelsea, as they started as well, with Sanchez in goal, James, Chalobah, Colwell and Cucurella, Caicedo and Fernandez, Madueke, Palmer, Sancho and Jackson. And former Premier League midfielder Michael Brown sitting next to me. I discovered at half-time it's Nuno Espirito Santo's birthday today as well, Michael, just like you. I think is he the same age as you, or is he slightly old?
I'm sure he's not the same age, John.
What about the second half then?
I think it's set up nicely, isn't it? It was a wonderful start. Yes, the downfall of somebody, but it did entertain. Now City come out, move it around, try and have that control. Pep demands that from his side. He'll want to have that more than he did in the first half, but we want to see entertainment. We want to see it end to end. Chelsea slowing it down at times. A high line was slightly dangerous. They've gone with it as well, though. They're going to stick with that sort of 1v1. I think City can use that with Edison into Haaland.
Manchester City playing it forward. Here's Foden on the right-hand side. City, who surrendered the 2-goal lead in the Parc des Princes on Wednesday night. Bernardo Silva gets that all wrong after Foden played it back to him, just ballooned it forward and through for a goal kick. In the Premier League, though, Manchester City unbeaten since the defeat at Villa Park last month, whereas Chelsea, that win against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Monday night, that was their first Premier League win of 2025, their first win in 6 Premier League matches. Sanchez with the goal kick. Now Madueke is onto this on the halfway line, but the recovering Marmouche is able to get a touch on that, cleared by Guardiol. And now Marmouche again on the halfway line, the Egyptian, the number 7 for Manchester City, is able just to play it in field, and Kovacic knocks it back into the back line. Certainly mobile Marmouche, isn't he? He's been in so many different areas of the field.
Yeah, he's a willing runner, wants to recover, wants to help Josko Guardiol. I think that is important. But just seeing a ball into Madueke, his touch is sensational. Took him into the space, and Cole Palmer had got right in the back of Akanji. He should have just played it. He waited, tried to go inside, and then that 2v1 that City created, then took the ball back. But it was a good counter.
As Manchester City just have the ball at the back in front of their own penalty area. Akanji now rolling it back across to goalkeeper Edison. So yes, after this eventful afternoon that we've had, the lines are open for 606, as we heard from Chris Sutton there. 08085 909 693 as Edison with a pass. Guardiol got a touch on that, but Chelsea have won it back. Madueke takes on, beats Gundogan down the outside. Now Caicedo is able to pass it back to James, and still lots and lots of spectators just coming back to our seats down in front of us. And they're the expensive seats, aren't they? They're coming back after their lunches or dinners or suppers or whatever it was. As Cucurella finds Sancho now down the left-hand side on the far side. Little ball infield. No Neto in the team for Chelsea today with Sancho coming in. Neto is among the substitutes. Here's Kovacic, the former Chelsea man, through the middle, looking for Haaland, but Colwill did well there, just used his body to make sure that Haaland had a long way round to go, and therefore goalkeeper Sanchez was able to make ground out of the penalty area and clear it away. And Manchester City will start again in the centre circle. Manchester City 2 points behind Chelsea in the Premier League table coming into this round of matches. Will City go all the way back to goalkeeper Ederson?
Chelsea have just got to be careful. The press is good. Yes, they want to be high. It's just that sliding past Kovacic there on the shoulder, trying to get Haaland in. Needs to be a little bit cute of Chelsea.
Oh, and that's Ederson passing the ball behind Husanov. Gave him no chance with that. Perhaps just trying to be too careful with Husanov, so passed it right along the goal line and out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea, but as a result has conceded a cheap throw-in that Cucurella is waiting to take, and he does that all the way back up the line. And Chelsea in the blue shirts with that sort of detail, that design on them, the blue shorts, white socks, these Chelsea shirts that they wear with the badge that twinkles under the floodlights, the badges on the shirt and the shorts. Manchester City, sky blue shirts, white shorts and the dark blue socks. Chelsea going back all the way to Sanchez at the other end. Certainly a contrast to the way that this half started with the first half when it was all action. This is very, very respectful. But here's a pass to the left-hand side. Sancho gets the ball down, plays it forward for Jackson. I'm not sure there was too much in that challenge there from Kusanov, and down goes Jackson. Referee doesn't give the free kick, and there's more encouraging applause, but Kovacic has lost it to Palmer. Palmer into the area on the left, ball across with a deflection, cleared away by Akanji, but only out to Fernandes. He tried to shoot. Good challenge. I think it was Foden who came in with a challenge on him just as Fernandes was looking to shoot, but that all came from Kovacic dwelling on the ball. But now Gundogan plays it through beyond Colwill. Haaland's onto this. Haaland still going, left foot shot, saved by Sanchez. Deflection out into the penalty area where James was able to coolly control it and pass it away to comparative safety. First big chance of the second half, and Haaland with the shot from the angle that was saved by Sanchez. More from Michael Brown in a moment, but Palmer now bursting forward, uses Madueke to his right, on his left foot, curling it right across the box. That's taken down by Sancho. Sancho tees up Cucurella with a left foot shot that he lifts high up and over the crossbar, probably a yard and a half over the top and into all of those faces behind the goal.
Yeah, end to end again, some good balls in behind the Chelsea back line. And Colwill should have done better as Haaland gets away. I almost felt like he was going to come inside on that left foot. You're almost waiting for it. He does. And then the goalkeeper, good position down to that right-hand side. Good save. And then straight away, Chelsea attack, come down the right. Madueke, Palmer, etc. But then the overload. Cucurella just puts it over the bar. Should have done a lot better, really. Should hit the target. It just shows you once it opens up, both sides with chances. Chance.
As Ederson clears it under pressure to Haaland on the halfway line, who goes down and lands on the top of Chalobah as the two of them battle for the ball. And I'm sure if you know anything about football, you wouldn't want Erling Haaland landing on top of you. And John Stones is being brought forward to the side of the pitch. And they're going to make a change, and it is Husanov who's going to make way, Michael.
Do you know what? I just popped down to the press room and I was asked about his first half performance, and I thought, you couldn't take him off because of a slow start. Did he recover? Yes. I think he found his feet. You've just seen a strong challenge there in the corner, just starting to come to play, but it's allowed John Stones to get a good warm-up, a bit of weight, and what you don't do, the young kid's going to get a nice sort of applause from the supporters. You don't just do it at half-time. We have that loss. Look at these supporters now. They're going to get behind the youngster. I think that was a really, really smart move from Pep, not to actually just do it straight away. He probably felt he wanted to do it at half-time, but it's a learning curve. Did he recover? Yes, that was the positives. Nice challenge right at the end. Showed that strength, determination. We're going to see a lot more of this young man.
Yes, this is the first Uzbekistan player to appear in the English top flight. And and he gets an ovation like he scored a hat-trick. In actual fact, he gifted a goal to Chelsea, got booed, looked very shaky, but as Michael says, he's recovered into the match, and now Pep Guardiola, that I think you're right, I think that's good management, and he's got John Stones on the field.
You know, psychologically, at half-time, if he's took off, he's sat waiting in that team talk, John, and you pretty much know you've got every chance. John Stones sat there, you're probably thinking half a game is the most he can play, they want to get him on the pitch, but you know, I think it's really, really good that he's come out, it's got another 5-10 minutes or so, but now about John Stones, we've seen him come back, we've seen him break down several times, and he's been such a key in that middle of the area as well, that can play right back, John, he can play that pivot, that central midfield role with no Rodri. He's got everything in the locker, John Stones, he just needs to be fit.
Well, when he came on in Paris on Wednesday night, actually just before they scored their third goal, PSG, that was only his second appearance since November, and now he's coming on again early in the second half. So Manchester City have made their change, but there continues to be concern for Chalobah, because all of the while Chalobah has received treatment, and this is after Haaland fell on him in the centre circle, and he's on his feet, but
his foot come across him and caught him on the side of the head, I think. You know, that was that sort of contact Phil Foden was saying, but his head was low, there wasn't really sort of any intent from Haaland, but he did catch him.
So they've gone through the process, and here's one for Jackson to chase, but John Stones gets there first, just passes it back to Ederson. Jackson continues to bear down on the Manchester City goalkeeper. Chalobah still off the field on the far side. Two of the Chelsea staff are over there with them with their black bags. The ball's out of play, and I think Chalobah is going to come back onto the field very shortly. 10 minutes gone in the second half. This is 5 Live from the BBC. This is the Premier League, the 5:30 kickoff. This is where to hear commentary on that. Although, actually, this time next week, you'll be listening to Ireland-England in the Six Nations on 5 Live. It begins Friday night. France against Wales, the first match. That's on 5 Live, 8:15. And then all manner of commentaries across 5 Live and Sports Extra during the course of the Six Nations Championship. And added to that, the Rugby Union Weekly becomes daily on Monday throughout the course of the Six Nations, as Ederson clears the ball away to the halfway line. And on the Rugby Union front, it is now Exeter 5, Saracens 8, remains the score. In the Premiership, also in the United Rugby Championship, Leinster 36, Solmers 7, and Cardiff 22, Sharks 28, all latest scores. 1-1 here, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 1, Madueke for Chelsea early on, Gvardiol with the equalizer, his 5th goal of the season for Manchester City. He's turned himself into a useful scorer of goals, even if sometimes at the back, Michael, he has his moments, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, but no, he contributes in different ways, still learning the Pep way.
As Chelsea played up towards Akanji, who's underneath that, heads it back for Gundogan, who's beaten in the air by Reece James, and then another one forward, aerially, for Marmouche, who I don't think can keep it in, he can't against James, and it's out of play for a throw into Chelsea halfway inside their own territory. Thoughts on Marmouche so far, for anyone who's just switched on? The news on Manchester City's big new signing as Kovacic tries to battle his way through, but he can't get the better of Reece James, his former teammate. It's actually deflects in field for Chalobah, now back on the field. Colwell carefully passes it forward to Sancho. That's a nice ball in field by Sancho for Fernandes. Fernandes then helps it forward to Jackson. Jackson slips as he shoots, and as a result, it's a routine save for Ederson, almost like a back pass.
Yeah, it was. Once you lost your footing, there was no pace of power. Good challenge there. Is it late? Here he is. Mamouche, you asked me about him.
He goes between Caicedo and James, and the referee has already warned Caicedo. Remember, in the first half, he gave him a lengthy warning, and this one, for this challenge, halfway line, yellow card, Caicedo.
Yeah, positive, drives inside, wants to set the tone, he wants to use that determination, that pace and power. He asked me about what he's going to bring. I think we've seen different attributes. Want to come inside, recovery runs, good energy. He's gone enjoying the central area at times wherever he possibly can. But I know for the Egyptian supporters around the world, I was here when Mido came Zaki came to Wigan as well. Causes a big stir.
Here's Akanji passing the ball through to the edge of the penalty area, but that's cut out by James. Yes, there'll be big news, won't it? In Egypt, long one forward. This is for Sancho to chase Mateus Nunes, trying to get back, and then eventually the offside flag comes. Shoots against the post in any case, but it's a free kick to Manchester City. Thought that might come under the category of delaying the restart from Sancho to shoot, even though he knew he'd been flagged offside. Substitutes are warming up, and Nkunku's going to come on for Chelsea next time we get a stoppage in play. Yes, he's just taking off his tracksuit top as Chelsea concede a free kick on the far side, of foul on Bernardo Silva. Michael Brown.
Yeah, Enzo Fernandez, enough for the referee to be convinced that he's fouled Bernardo Silva. He just waits. Bernardo Silva doesn't cut inside, and then the foul comes. But now it's a good position. Wide free kick. Can he fizz it right across? Haaland needs a couple of crosses. He needs something to go at. I think we can see down to our left-hand side, John. Kevin De Bruyne will be the one who can change things. You're looking at lots of activity on the Chelsea bench.
Free kick though. De Bruyne's not on the field yet, so Marmoush is going to take this. Right-footed he does, far too close to the goalkeeper. Sanchez is able to take the catch untroubled, and then rather awkwardly and badly gives it out to Bernardo Silva, who couldn't find Phil Foden. Passed it straight to Sancho, and then a ball that I'm not sure Jackson's going to chase. Or able to catch, and it bounces out of play for a throw-in, and it's Jackson who's coming off, Michael. Nkunku coming on for Jackson. There's been a bit of talk this month that Nkunku might move on, even though he's actually got 13 goals this season for Chelsea. Only Palmer has scored more, but Jackson, that's another appearance. And has he seen the number yet?
No, he's off on that far side, yeah, he's just drifted off. You see him just behind Nunes.
I would say he doesn't look best pleased. Well, that's not the most positive body language I've ever seen.
It's not, but what, I mean, I'm not really fazed by that. He's on the side of the pitch where he's disappointed, he just goes, okay, that's the way I go. We can't run all the way over this side and the change happens, but I mean, who isn't linked in and out of Chelsea at this moment in time? That's always the difficulty.
So Nkunku is on, and Nicholas Jackson, that's now 7 appearances without a goal. Lovely from Gvardiol for Manchester City, away from Madueke. The weaving run continues, and then with his right foot finds the pass out to Mateus Nunes on the right hand side for Manchester City. Comes back in field towards Foden, and then back to Kovacic, and then Manchester City forcing Chelsea back. Mateus Nunes beats Cucurella into the area, stabs it across, but there's no one there. Groans from the home supporters. Caldwell was able to clear it away downfield. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 1. More Premier League commentaries to come tomorrow. Tottenham-Chelsea, Tottenham-Leicester at 2 o'clock on 5 Live. Crystal Palace-Brentford is on Sports Extra. And right now on Sports Extra, the Exeter-Saracens match. Here's Mateus Nunes into the box on the right-hand side. He goes up against Cucurella, tries to get the crossover. It's blocked behind by the left back, and it's a corner to Manchester City, which is, believe it or not, only the 2nd corner of the match.
Cucurella does well, doesn't he? Gets into good areas, good position, watches the line as Nunes attacks him towards the byline. First port of call is make sure that ball doesn't get past you across the face. A bit of push and shoving going on in the area. John Stones in and around it.
Foden with the corner, takes it back to the point, the corner of the penalty area, to Gundogan, back to Foden on the right. Foden's ball across, deflected and then hooked away, overhead kick away by Madueke. And Manchester City take up possession again as they play from right to left. As we look here, chill in the air. I came through snow today on the way, snow shower in Barrow Ford, snow on the ground. Here's Mateus Nunes, turns, carries the ball down the left, and Gvardiol will return it back towards Akanji near the halfway line. Mateus Nunes as well. Also commentary tomorrow, Aston Villa West Ham from 4:30. It'll be at Villa Park tomorrow. The City go with Bernardo Silva all the way back to goalkeeper Ederson at the other end. Ederson just has a look up, gives it back to Bernardo Silva. John Stones now. City keeping possession inside their own half. And Kovacic to Akanji. Gundogan has now dropped back in there as well. Three of the midfielders, Gundogan, Kovacic and Bernardo Silva, are all together with the central defenders right over towards the flanks, as Mateus Nunes now turns the full 360 degrees, and then still in possession of the ball. Look, there are rubs there.
I think that's the next one. He doesn't need Ilkay Gundogan there now. You know, because the presence of Jackson's different. I think that he won't stay too long with having three behind it.
Gundogan's going to try the long pass. This is for Haaland. Colwell, who's stuck to Haaland and has done pretty well against him, the England international. So far in the match, Haaland's just got away once, and the shot was saved by Sanchez early in the second half. Now here's Marmoush again. Marmoush, who is blocked by James, and then there's a flick by Madueke. Still Chelsea trying to get it away from their right back position, and James wins the free kick off Marmoush. I don't see anything in terms of physically that would suggest Marmoush can't play the whole of this match. You know, he was right in the thick of the action with Eintracht Frankfurt, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Whether we can see difference in styles or areas of the pitch, I think it's a willing runner, but not that jinky 1v1 type player. So I think I still look, and I think if Pep wants to win it, I think there's other areas he can certainly explore, whether he stays on or whether he doesn't. But when you look at, when you have Kevin De Bruyne there, I just think he's one of those, at some point, 75, you go, well, he's got to get on the pitch.
I was talking to a German colleague this week who said everyone there has been absolutely wowed by him in the Bundesliga this season. Here is Gundogan playing it in field, so he was going to get a move, it would appear, sooner or later, as Chelsea go back to Sanchez.
I think the point is with it, I think several clubs over in this country looked and thought about it, weren't 100% sure because of the amount of time that he's done it. And that's people in and around Manchester City in the Premier League.
Yeah, and he came from the Egyptian second division originally with Wadi Dekla before he got his move to Germany. I was reading this week on the BBC Sport website, it was Ryan Giggs who spotted him at a tournament in Dubai, mentioned his name, so that's how he got his move to Germany. And not unlike Mohamed Salah, you know, a few moves, loan moves, and now he's got the big move. So Manchester City in possession, still 1-1 in the match. Gundogan is going back towards the edge of the penalty area and then all the way back to Ederson. And then the long ball, this is again Haaland against Colwell. James got a touch on that. Haaland's brought it out to the left and he gives it to Marmoush, and Marmoush shoots wide of the top corner from the edge of the D, and he turns away the Egyptian and thinks that was close, and it was.
Well, that was the chance. I thought there's the 1v1 that they wanted. Ederson into Haaland, you know when he gets into the area, but he almost turns the wrong way, plays it inside very, very quickly. It opens up to Marmoush and he just sort of strikes it rather than curls it, and late it has that swerve just away from that far post. A bit more quality, hits it, you know, strong enough, but the quality, just that bit of slice.
Very close, but not close enough, and it remains 1-1. He's got a reputation, or he's had a reputation in Germany for scoring match-winning goals. To say only Harry Kane scored more in the Bundesliga this season. He scored another one today, Harry Kane, I noticed. They won at Freiburg. Bayern Munich. Now Haaland again, it's a long pass. Chalobah's struggling. Oh, Sanchez has come a long way. Haaland over him and in. Oh, the goalkeeper. What on earth was he doing? Cucurella looks at Sanchez, but Haaland celebrates. Give Haaland a chance like that, he's not going to turn it down. Very good finish, but it was a bit of a gift. And Manchester City now lead Chelsea by 2 goals to 1.
Well, you leave him 1v1, you've got Ederson's supply line, they've been warned several times. I did say, don't go so high, don't leave him 1v1. And then when it's a battle, goalkeeper gets sucked in, thinks he can come as he gets away, but Haaland does so well, he checks back inside. From that point of view, once he opens up onto his left foot, it's a great finish, he just chips it right over the top.
and almost like Cantona, like where he's done it and he's scored, he just stands there and walks off very, very cool and composed. He knows it's a great finish. He gets those positions, and City finally take the lead after a very, very slow start to the game.
Yeah, Robert Sanchez, he found himself in no man's land. And the position that he was in, Haaland was over near the corner of the penalty area, and there as well, Haaland managed to get himself up against Chalobah instead of Colwill. Invariably, it's been Colwill who's dealt with him pretty well, but he got away from Chalobah. Goalkeeper came out, and really, it was just an invitation for Haaland to lift it over, and as long as he got it on target, it would have been in the back of the net.
Yeah, but I understand go 1 for 1, but they've had a warning. Give him 5 yards.
Sanchez now clears it out, and then Guardiola was onto this, and fiery deflection puts it out, and Pep Guardiola on the touchline is waving his arms around, I think suggesting that the Etihad crowd give it a bit of noise.
Yeah, there was no suggesting. It was, come on, get behind it, give it more. But now they can really put Chelsea under pressure out of a real error from the goalkeeper. I still think there's a lot of work to do. I think you do your homework, you stick to your tactics at times, breakthroughs do happen.
As the ball just rolls over the white line, throwing to Chelsea level with the edge of their own box. So Chelsea facing another defeat here. Chelsea, who are in danger of dropping below Manchester City in the Premier League table with this scoreline. The crowd have responded to Pep Guardiola. That goal from Haaland, number 24 for Manchester City this season. And after Salah scored for Liverpool today, so Salah has got 19 in the Premier League this season, and Haaland now 18. And the 2 goals from Isak means that he's on 17 in the Premier League. As Colwill in his own box is able to chip it away over to the far side. Cucurella takes it on. Malo Gusto is going to come on for Chelsea next. And here's Chalobah. Chalobah, who seems to be okay, although it was Chalobah who took that knock, and it was Chalobah who was beaten by Haaland when he was one-on-one in the build-up to the second goal, and Pedro Neto as well. So Pedro Neto and Gusto. Enzo Maresca is going to bring those 2 on next time he gets a chance. 20 minutes to play here at the Etihad Stadium, and Madueke running it. Guardiola into the penalty area, tried to hook it across. They were shoulder to shoulder. They bounced off one another, and he was able to win the corner. Madueke, even though he was rebounding over the dead ball line at the time, he scooped it into Guardiola to Chelsea corner. Their first of the match.
Yeah, now how can they react? What can they do? City zonal, 1 blocker. And Bernardo Silva trying to stop any blue shirt, get momentum. Kovacic now stepped into that area as well, and Mamouche finally joining. They've got to set up quicker, City.
So James to take the corner for Chelsea. Reece James, deep delivery to the back post, which is headed down and away. John Stones was underneath it and was able to clear it for Manchester City. Back to James Madueke. Might well have been in an offside position. Crosses anyway, and it's caught by Ederson. There's no flag, and even though the Manchester City defenders are arms in the air all over the place, but it's been safely dealt with. So 2-1 to Manchester City. Lines open for 606 085 909 693. Kevin De Bruyne is going to come on for Manchester City as well, so we're going to have a number of substitutions next time the ball goes out, but it is still in play. Yes, Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton waiting for your calls to the UK's most popular football phone-in, 085 909 693. And here come the changes for Chelsea. First of all, Reece James is going to be replaced by Malo Gusto, and Jadon Sancho by Pedro Neto, so straight swaps.
Yeah, you understand that, you get it. But Reece James, it's great to see him back playing games, getting minutes, super talent. He's spent a long time on recovery tables, and wish him well because it's someone I love to watch play. But
yeah, only his 8th appearance this season for Chelsea. And it's Marmouche. He won't play the full match. He's coming off with just under 20 minutes to play, but they're on their feet. The Manchester City supporters. He did have the ball in the net in the first half. He was caught offside repeatedly, including that time. Went very close with his shot. He's not scored on his debut, but there are high fives all round for Omar Marmoush on the Manchester City's substitutes bench, and Kevin De Bruyne replaces him. What do you think, Michael? Box out of 10?
No, I think it was a positive debut. I think he had to play in a role that's sometimes difficult to understand after a slow start. Pep Guardiola doesn't always give those forward players that freedom that you would like, and you have to understand when and where you can go on the pitch. But I think overall he showed good energy, some good touches. Just ran offside a little bit, didn't he, early on with that eagerness, but you know, I think a real positive start.
Yep. So Kevin De Bruyne is on. Manchester City 2, Chelsea 1. Phil Foden was in a Chelsea sandwich on the halfway line, no free kick. Palmer has actually been very quiet in the match. He should have scored in the first half if he'd been more selfish, but generally there's feels like he's not really seen much of the ball.
He's just cruising around, he's just waiting for that chance. That's all he is, Cole Palmer, but you've got to get him on it, get him turned round, because he will produce something.
Yeah, Michael Brown felt he was too cool in the first half when he was through seemingly one-on-one.
I think his first touch should have been a cross with his left foot, then it opens up the goal. But he thinks, all right, it's no problem, I'll just whiz it across. He sees it, he was just a little bit too pacey, wasn't it, the pass for that simple tap in. But now De Bruyne on the pitch, you know something will happen. He always creates, and it's going to be a really sort of open ending, because Chelsea are just going to start going for it. It leaves those gaps for City.
So 2-1 to Manchester City. At that time when Palmer was through, Chelsea were winning 1-0 through the early goal from Madueke, but Gvardiol late in the first half, and now Erling Haaland, who is on one of those runs, 6 goals in his last 6 appearances for the big Norwegian, and that now takes him, Michael, close to another milestone, of course. He's now on 249 club career goals for his various clubs, Erling Haaland, Brunner, Mulder, Salzburg, Dortmund and Manchester City.
It's not bad, is it? The return has been sensational, the growth of his career. Just think a very, very lucrative contract with many years. That tells you the professionalism that everybody thinks he's got in the football club, and you do feel like those goal records are just going to keep getting broken.
Yeah, the growth of his career, the growth of him as well. Do you think he was a big baby? Probably was, wasn't he? There's Stones, it's a long pass cross field. Gvardiol heads it back to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne now with the outside of his boot to Foden, and back to Kevin De Bruyne. I think it's unfortunate for City with Jeremy Doku's injury.
Why don't you check your notes and see what weight he was when he was born?
When he was born. Do you know what? I haven't got that. That's my mistake. Apologies, everyone. Baby weight. Here's De Bruyne.
TBC.
Blank. Straight line. Here's De Bruyne. Back to Mateus Nunes. Mateus Nunes with Cucurella kept his feet well, actually. The Chelsea left back, and was able just to poke a little toe in there, clear it away. And Chelsea start again from the back. But they're facing a second defeat to Manchester City. Pep Guardiola, with this scoreline, is doing a double over his old assistant Enzo Maresca. And Manchester City with the ball on the halfway line. John Stones rolls it across here to Akanji. Into the last 15 minutes we go. 08, 085 909 693. I know that Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will want to hear from you. Want to hear about that sending off, that decision at Molineux. I'm sure from Arsenal supporters all on the way home. When I was listening to Ian Dennis earlier with the commentary describing the scenes of Arsenal's celebrations, you know, that was a big win for them, wasn't it, in the circumstances. Wolves had a man sent off as well. As the ball's played forward for Manchester City, Haaland's chasing this, but Chalobah will get there comfortably and is able to play it back to Robert Sanchez. So It is now Exeter 24, Saracens 15 in the Premiership in the Sports Extra commentary match, and full time in the United Rugby Championship, Leinster 36, Stormers 12, and Cardiff 22, Sharks 42. Foul on Enzo Fernandez in the middle of the field, and that is the yellow card for, was it Bernardo Silva?
Yeah.
Who caught him? It was yellow card for Bernardo Silva.
He dives in, tries to get any sort of thing is, but Fernandez does so well. Great feet, drags it back, then drives into a position. It's just on the back of his foot. Wasn't really too bad, but once you're in an advanced position, breaking away. And I mean, this is interesting now, isn't it? The later stages of games, this is where City have struggled. When it's been tight in the games, we've seen Manchester United here, we've seen in the week in Champions League.
Yeah.
How do they do this? What is different? Feyenoord here was incredible ending when they were so comfortable. I think they learned from that regards to seeing it out and doing the right things, but collectively, I don't know, the concentration level, there's something in it that they don't have the confidence to do it.
You're right, Manchester derby, remember?
Yeah.
Coming into the last 10 minutes.
There was one mistake from Nunes, and that changed it very quickly.
Yeah.
So it was different to others where there's been a domination or something coming for a period of time. That was just a switch that changed. What happens here? Did Chelsea go, right, okay, we know they can do it. That'll be the message from the bench. The players will say, come on, keep probing, keep coming, take more risks. And I think this is the time now they've got to start to do it.
Yeah. 2-1 to Manchester City. But with City right now, as Michael Brown's been saying, yes, we are in this position where nothing is certain, nothing's guaranteed. Chelsea with the ball on the edge of their own box, carefully passed forward by Chalobah to Cole Palmer, who's dropped deep to get it, the former Manchester City man, scoring goals for City at the start of last season, remember. Here is Pedro Neto, the lively Portuguese, then Nkunku. Nkunku just puts his foot on the ball. Touch from Pedro Neto out to Enzo Fernandez. Comes in and then hits a long crossfield pass. Madueke's going to do well to get to that. He does well. Is able to control it. Brings down the bouncing ball. Up against Gvardiol. Left-footed ball into the near post, but that's cleared away by Kanji with his right instep. Comes out to Chelsea again. The header back from Gusto is a little short. Haaland trying to get it back from Chalobah, who did well. Colwell was there as well, but the Chelsea central defenders dealt with that pretty well. Now Palmer. Palmer approaching the edge of the box. Opens his left foot, passes it actually out to Neto over there near the left corner of the box. Back to Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo, 25 yards out. Gusto back to Caicedo, who strokes a pass, bouncing out to Pedro Neto, double step over. Neto with the cross, which is deflected wide, straight out of play, corner to Chelsea from the left.
Yes, Pep just puts his hands in his pockets, head to the ground. He goes to sit on that seat. So speak to the staff, what do we do next? We've been through this, we've discussed it. Chelsea now move the ball around, test City out, and put them on the back foot. This is the type of situation now.
Yes, it is. Corner, set piece opportunity. Pedro Neto standing at a 45-degree angle. Pedro Neto with his left foot to the near post. Haaland's head actually takes it out to Caicedo. Caicedo trying to find a position, but he was very quickly closed down by Kovacic, who gets a big slap on the back from Bernardo Silva, and it's out of play for a throw-in that Chelsea take. Gusto with his gloves on, and Caicedo to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez's pass, again Kovacic goes to ground and is able to slide that one away. They're being asked questions here though by Chelsea as they go through the middle to Nkunku. Nkunku's pass that cut out by the recovering Mateus Nunes, but Foden is in danger of losing it. However, Gundogan comes to the rescue and is onto the loose ball, and Gundogan now lifts one forward for Haaland to chase, but Gusto will get there comfortably ahead of the Norwegian international, the Yorkshireman. And it's played back to Sanchez, who passes it out to Colwell.
It's nice as a midfielder that you know the high line's there. Here they come again.
Clearance by Mateus Nunes, but he's only given it away to Palmer, and then Palmer is bundled over by Kovacic. And it is a yellow card. I did wonder whether it would be in that position, 25 yards out, moving sort of diagonally over to the left, but even so, yellow card, Kovacic.
There's very, very minimal contact. Cole Palmer knows it's coming. He sort of locks the two legs up. Is that a yellow card? I'm not so sure. Kovacic didn't think it was. I'm getting a little look along the line saying it possibly is. What do you think, John?
Oh, it's a free kick, Michael, that's what it is.
I'll sit on the fence if you want.
Palmer ended up sort of sprawling, sliding on his back with his palms
You see
apart.
my point though, right?
I do,
He's gone to him, he's not really went for any contact, there's a slight come together. Cole Palmer lets some legs go and make sure he gets it. I don't think he needs to do the yellow card.
If I was refereeing that, I would have given a free kick and a yellow card with one viewing of it. Where it was.
See, if I was in the pitch, I'd disagree.
Palmer with the free kick into the back post that Gusto can't get to, and Gvardiol is able to take it away. And then there's a foul, even though it's been taken away by Chalobah. It was a foul on Gundogan, and it's a free kick to Manchester City, 15 yards inside their own half. But you can feel it probably wherever you're listening to us on 5 Live. It's a bit edgy inside the Etihad.
It's going to be, because so many times this season we've said, OK, City are going well and have conceded, but just going back to your point of view, regards to if you were referee, you'd have said, well, OK, I'd give a yellow card, one look. But me as a player, I might have got a little bit closer to it.
Yep.
I might have given the benefit of the doubt. We talked about tackles earlier.
Yep.
We see things slightly different.
So Cucurella there had to be quite careful in that he very nearly stepped on Gundogan. Cucurella. 2-1 Manchester City lead. Haaland is the match winner. He scored in both matches against Chelsea this season. Now, Ederson with this long free kick. Chalobah gets up, heads it down. Gundogan then gives it away to Caicedo. Groans from the home supporters. Palmer in close. Bernardo Silva with the challenge. Chelsea weren't able to get over the halfway line, but Chelsea take the throw. Everyone knows the narrative here. Everyone knows, and you can feel it from Chelsea that they think they've got a chance of snatching an equaliser in this match. Caicedo and Manchester City, have rather stepped off and allowed them to have the initiative. Colwell walks it towards the halfway line. Palmer now increasingly influential in the game. The England man, Chelsea's number 20, Chelsea's top scorer this season. Here he is again. 14-goal Cole Palmer turns, plays it back into his own half. The PFA Young Player of the Year last season. Phil Foden, the PFA Player of the Year last season, on the field. And it is Chelsea who are dominating possession, but less than 5 minutes to go, Michael. Time's beginning to run out for them.
Yeah, it's fine if we do this. If I'm City, I'll say, OK, I'll wait, let you move it around. I think the wide areas are so key. You do it quickly, see if it opens for you. Chelsea are in control here, as I would say, but City say, let's have a look at you. But here you go, these positions now. Can there be a runner? Can you move him behind John Stones?
Well, here's a man who can do something special. Pedro Neto gets the ball back on the edge of the area for a 1-2 with Fernandes. Fernandes into the challenge, which is hurdled by Phil Foden. What a piece of athleticism that was from Phil Foden, as De Bruyne just plays it back. And remember, Manchester City are leading here. Once they get the ball back, this is where they've struggled a little this season, is managing the game without Rodri. And the way that results have gone, Akanji now back to Ederson with 3.5 minutes of the 90 to play. De Bruyne, that was a challenge in his back, but he was able to find the ball to Haaland, and Haaland flicks it to Foden. Foden through the middle, one-on-one against Sanchez, scores. 3-1 Manchester City. And Phil Foden celebrates by sliding on his knees into the far corner. He scored in a 4th consecutive Premier League match, and he sealed the point for the champions here. 3-1 Manchester City lead against Chelsea.
People say sometimes, what does Haaland do when he doesn't score, when he doesn't have that momentum? I feel like he's getting better. Hold-up play was good, and then that run from Foden, the time when he just flicks inside, takes everybody out. And then Foden's got that weight, that long run, he's looking around, people chasing him, 1v1, just looks like he was going to get caught. And he was cool, he was calm, and he just slotted it in. To that left-hand corner, super finish, he deserved that today.
Phil Foden, Cole Palmer was through one-on-one early in the match, wasn't able to convert. That could have been 2-0 to Chelsea. Late in the match, Foden put through by Haaland. more direct this was, running directly at the goalkeeper, but very calmly with his left foot, just tucked it past Robert Sanchez into the net, and Phil Foden makes it, for him, 6 goals in his last 4 Premier League appearances, and he reaches double figures for this season in all competitions, his 10th goal for City.
We've been waiting for him this season to come to light. You knew it was just a matter of time, and it was the goal at Aston Villa. And then since then, he's got into great positions, getting fitter, getting sharper. Do you know, the more games you play, you get into the rhythm that Pep talked about so many times, and then he just sniffs it out. And in those areas, he's got all of the skills, the ability to make different choices. He stands up and waits there. He could have hit it earlier, but it's a super finish under pressure.
Yeah, and now he is back in goal-scoring form, Phil Foden, after the 27 that he scored, which was by a distance his career best. But as Michael says, he got the goal in the defeat, the late on against Aston Villa, so scored in that match, scored in the 4-1 win here against West Ham, then a couple of goals against Brentford, a couple of goals last Sunday against Ipswich, and then this one here tonight. There'll be 5 minutes of added time at the end of the match, but Manchester City have got it won now, Michael.
It's a long way to go, John. Lots of football.
Yes, maybe we can't say that anymore about Manchester City, but I think they have got this one won. Foden takes the ball downfield, and Chelsea have got it back. You see that Haaland joined in the sniper celebration there. Did you spot that? The two of them did the sniper celebration together, with Haaland having set Foden through. He got a piece of the action. And now Blue Moon rings around the Etihad Stadium as Chelsea come forward, but they need something spectacular now. The 90 minutes are almost up. In fact, there we see Lewis Smith, the 4th official, holding up the black board with the red number on it, the red number 5. Chelsea, long pass out here to Madueke, who brilliantly beats Guardiola. Madueke's ball right across the 6-yard box. No one can get a touch on that, and it's out for a throw-in, but brilliantly beat Guardiola.
I really like him, honestly. Not only does he make it to the line, he managed to take the touch in behind Guardiola. Does he try and sort of, is that a cross, or does he try and whip it around the goalkeeper? It's a tight angle. Just doesn't know if he gets it right, or whether he is unselfish, plays it across, and it was a scare. But that's the type of moment there. Exactly there, he goes and scores, and then City all of a sudden, 5 minutes to go, you're under everything again. Delay now, wait, hold possession wherever you can. That'll be the message for Pep.
Yeah, throw-in is taken back to Ederson. So Manchester City leading Chelsea by 3 goals to 1. 08085 909 693 to join in 606. Book your call with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton if you're on your way back from one of the earlier matches. So eventful up and down the country today. And also we didn't get a chance, Michael, to talk about it because Sports Support ran right up to kick-off here, as it always does on a Saturday afternoon at 5:30. But I was reminded by the chorus of Blue Moon before the match, a really poignant tribute to Tony Book, Bobby Kennedy and Dennis Law, 3 Manchester City players who have recently passed away, and the Manchester-based Halley Choir performed Blue Moon on the far side of the pitch with the lights down, and a brilliant poster as well of Tony Book behind them. It was so atmospheric and very emotional.
Yeah, it was a wonderful tribute to the players, the families, light show, and actually seeing what these players have done for the football club. But Tony Buck was somebody that I walked into the football club when I was 16, and from there on, good relationship. He was very tough, very, very strong, but what he did for this club right throughout, right till the end, was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they called him Mr. Manchester City, didn't they? As you were telling me, they called him Skip.
Skip was everywhere. You did not cross Skip. I did once or twice early on, and then realised I don't need to do that.
Yeah, and he died at the age of 90. And the poster, which is replicated on the front of the match programme today, it's a brilliant piece of artwork actually, of Tony Book as player, manager, and also elder statesman with his white hair. And you know, they'll miss him around here. He was such a presence at the club. So that was very well done by Manchester City. And actually, the match here today, as a result, the performance, having gone a goal down in the way that they did, with the debutant Husanov having such a shaky start to the match and giving the goal away. You know, this is a good win for Manchester City in the place that they are at the moment. Chelsea coming forward, but 3-1 down, deep in added time. We're in the 4th minute of added time. Madueke again, excellent. Madueke tried to pull it back for Palmer on the edge of the box, but City were able to clear through Phil Foden, and De Bruyne couldn't keep the ball in, and now we've got 2 balls on the field. So
the recovery there from Phil Foden,
very good.
Fantastic. He's gone the other way twice and he's come back. Madueke again, wonderful run into Palmer, just seeing some sort of light, but City have really dug deep, haven't they? They've demanded it from the manager. You know, you do feel sorry for the start that City had, but the team haven't half done well. You can recover from that. Does the team go on and win, John?
Yeah, well, it's the start of, well, it continues this run of tough matches. There's Chelsea coming in down the left-hand side. Neto wins a corner for Chelsea. It's the first time that Phil Foden has scored in 4 successive Premier League appearances. But they've got to do it again and again and again, Manchester City. They are capable of doing that. Corner from the left. That Pedro Neto, with that little sort of D'Artagnan moustache of his. False start. Then here is the delivery, left-footed, comes off Haaland's head, headed forward by Chalobah. Chance for Colwell, but he snatched at the shot. Did open up for him there at the back post, but he snatched at it as the defender came across and hit it wide and into the celebrating Manchester City fans who are taunting the Chelsea fans who are already vacating the stadium.
There's a bit of history there, isn't there, between Chelsea and Manchester City fans now. We understand why, but as it drops there in the area, Colwell's got to do better. Right-footed, tries to get over it, always rising, but you know, felt like if that was a clinical striker, it was a definite goal, John.
Yes, Chelsea beat Manchester City in that Champions League final, that all-English Champions League final in Porto, but Chelsea have not been able to beat them since then. Back in 2021, when Thomas Tuchel was the manager of Chelsea, and it's another victory for Manchester City here today. Despite going a goal down early in the match, Haaland and Foden hug one another out there on the pitch. They combined for the goals in the second half. Erling Haaland set away to score the second goal that edged City in front, and then Haaland sent Foden through for what turned out to be the clinching goal. 3-1, and Manchester City have done the double over Chelsea this season. Michael Brown.
Yeah, obviously a disastrous start for City. Chelsea looked good, that Cole Palmer opportunity where it was unselfish, and it didn't come off. From then on, City just kept pressing. That high line of Chelsea, Josko Vardiol went through, then Nunes, and then finally get the breakthrough. Haaland was in and around everything today, but it was obviously that little man who's found his form, Phil Foden, who's sealed a real gutsy performance for City.
So for Chelsea, that is a 5th Premier League defeat this season. They've now lost 3 of their last 6 Premier League matches. It's just got away from them, hasn't it?
It has, and they'll be trying to find the feet, understanding why. I think we've seen some good signs from Chelsea, what they're about. Reece James is certainly a positive, getting back on. Nicholas Jackson had some chances. I think sometimes you can have too many options at times off the bench in the wider positions in those areas, but you know, they've certainly got the tools to move forward. I think they've got a manager who's very, very tactically aware, but they are finding it a lot tougher than that run they were on. The
Manchester City players are still out there. I see the Pep Guardiola has just called across Phil Foden, and he's got his left arm wrapped around the back of his neck, and there's quite a conversation between the two of them there in the centre circle. And Foden's the man that the cameras are focusing on, having reached 10 goals this season. You know, those opening months of the season for Phil Foden, he was nowhere near his best, and now he is a lot closer.
No, he wasn't, but you know, he had his injuries, he missed games, he didn't obviously compete in a lot of the matches that were there, and ultimately that cost you. We've seen that with Kevin De Bruyne as well. And once you play more minutes, this boy has got absolutely everything in his armoury. If a team goes well, we've just seen a nice exchange there now with Pep Guardiola and Cole Palmer on the middle of the pitch. A long chat. Wouldn't you like to know what he's saying? You've done all right, son, haven't you? Since I let you go. Was it on me? Is it something I give you? But look at that exchange in the middle.
Yeah, they're right there. Cole Palmer and Pep Guardiola together. And Pep Guardiola with his hands in his pockets. I think there are smiles. Hands are obviously covering mouths as the two of them talk together. And they're going to actually be the last two people.
He stops him again to have a little chat. Why does he do this on the pitch, John? Because he just says, come on, we'll have a chat. I've got a good understanding. Because he's been questioned, hasn't he, about this?
Yes.
Why did Cole Palmer go? Such a talent. He's gone on and done what he's done. He wouldn't have got those chances in this side probably until this season.
Yeah. But I would ask, why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he talk to the opposition players on the pitch?
No, I'm not saying, but I'm just interested that he does it on the pitch and not like as he drop down the tunnel.
I don't have an issue with it.
No, it's good. No, but what it is, it's quite good to actually say they've still got that relationship. I think he shows, do you know what?
Yeah.
I can still go and chat to him and say, hey, good luck, you've done so well. And look, he's happy. He knows that's a big game and a massive week of football for this football club.
Yes, it is for Manchester City. Join us here on Wednesday night when Manchester City have to beat Club Brugge to get through into the knockout stages of the Champions League. And then league matches come against Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, Brighton. They've got the FA Cup in there as well. If they get through, they'll have the playoff rounds of the Champions League thrown in there as well in February. But it's a good bounce back for them from Paris on Wednesday night, yes?
Yeah, well, you look at how bad that was in that second half, and you just look at the week, don't you? You've got obviously Club Brugge where you say, well, we've got to win, but Chelsea and Arsenal, it could have been a lot easier. Away from home is obviously a much more concern against the better teams. For Arsenal next week as well, that will be one of those situations where they're going to be right on top. But this has built the momentum for the week. You do feel like now, and coming into that Champions League game, training will be good. A few players have not played the amount of minutes because you've been able to bring 2 new players in. So a huge week, and I think that was a strong performance. We've seen still some signs for improvement, obviously, but we've seen some good quality. De Bruyne as well got rested, only seen the end of it, and Haaland again contributing.
Yep, so that takes Manchester City into 4th place in the Premier League table, so they're above Newcastle on goal difference. Manchester City 12 points behind Liverpool and back to within 6 points of 2nd place Arsenal. So Chelsea taking the lead through Madueke, but the goals from Gvardiol, Haaland and Foden mean a final score of Manchester City 3, Chelsea 1. So more 5 Live Premier League commentaries tomorrow from 12 o'clock with Steve Crossman. 5 Live Premier League Sunday. 2 o'clock Tottenham against Leicester. Crystal Palace Brentford is on Sports Extra. At 4:30 Aston Villa against West Ham is a 5 Live commentary match. And live sport in the morning again. If you heard Madison Keys, I think surprise victory this morning in the women's final. It's the men's final live from Melbourne in the morning, round about 8:30. So weekend breakfast from 7 with Jeanette Quachi and Gordon Smart, and then it'll be live to Melbourne at 8:30 for Yannick Sinner against Alex Zverev. The full-time whistle has gone as well in the Premiership Rugby Union. Exeter Chiefs have beaten Saracens by 31 points to 22. And next, Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton are standing by to take your calls on 606 on 08 085 909 693. And they will be here after the news on 5 Live with Stuart Clarkson.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
John, thank you. Good evening. Here are the 7:30 headlines. A 14-year-old boy has been charged with the murder of a 12-year-old in Birmingham. Leo Ross was stabbed to death as he walked home from school on Tuesday. The teenager will face 7 other charges when he appears in court. The latest 4 Israeli hostages to be freed by Hamas have been reunited with their families. 200 Palestinian prisoners have also been released from Israeli jails as part of the Gaza ceasefire deal. Tens of thousands of homes are still without power across parts of the UK a day after Storm Eowyn. The Met Office says it was probably the strongest to hit the UK for more than 10 years. And WH Smith has confirmed it's in talks to sell its high street business. The retailer has about 500 town centre stores but makes most of its profits from its shops in airports and railway stations.
5 Live Drive
with Chris Warburton and Claire McDonald.
Welcome to Drive. We've got loads for you this afternoon, but let's get straight to our top story.
There'll be some people looking at that thinking, I can't believe you're even considering it.
Let me be absolutely clear. A warning from the NHS that a tidal wave of flu is hitting hospitals across the country.
The day's biggest news.
5 Live Drive
with Chris Warburton.